Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to the week 2 power rankings for the Victory Draft League. Today, I've got with me Ted, as usual, and Gumi has not been replying, so we've just gone ahead and invited Goomer on to help us out today. Say hi, guys.
What up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
So, Gumi might turn up at any point and join in the call, but for now, we've got Goomer who's hopefully come along to help us out today. So we're looking at the week 2 fixtures. Got the list in front of me here. Some surprising results, but I think it mostly went the way people thought. So the first fixture was Ted's Rochesters, Scalding Volcsnions versus the Playing Pukus. How did that go for you, Ted?
It went exactly how I planned it to be. Licky put in a lot of work, setting up a weakness policy. Really helped a lot. Getting that +2 in attack honestly helped a lot with my team. Griselli allowing for me to use that helping hand, and yeah, honestly, it went really well.
Yeah, I mean, it
For
was a
double four,
double 4-0.
so
Yeah, it's pretty dominant.
happy about that.
Yeah, so sounds like a good win for yourself. Not really a whole lot to touch on there because it was a bit of a pasting.
Yeah.
The next fixture was myself against Old Rum and the Middle Village P-Dubs, and I took the 2-0 win there, which I'm pretty happy with. I mean, just touching on my plans, like, I had planned for like pretty much every scenario with the Regirock Thwacky lead. Like, I could stop the Veil going up from Ninetales. I could stop Landorus from doing too much damage to me with the grassy terrain. Basically, Regirock was never really in much danger. In game 2, it actually could have gone a bit badly if he I think he threw a little bit going for a max knuckle over a max steel spike, but I had enough in the back that I think I still could have won the match. So yeah, it was a good game. Pretty happy with it, and not much else to say about that one. This one was quite of a big fixture. The Waterloo Warriors versus the Ninja Squirtles. They were both 1-0 at the time, and Warriors took it 2-1. Was anyone massively shocked by that?
I mean, I wasn't
Honestly,
shocked.
no. No, Gamer, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, like you said, they're both really good teams. So seeing a 2-1, I feel like is expected. Looking at like the battle report though here, and obviously we didn't get to see how the game went out, but like, I think Ninja Squirtles has a Guzzlord, and looks like Dragapult took it 4-0 the first game for the Warriors, which is kind of surprising to me. Um, but yeah, obviously he was able to bring it back the second game, and then third game it looks like Warriors cleaned that up as well.
I can't
Toxtricity getting.
remember off the top of my head, but in the game 2, what does it look like Squirtles did? Who was the dominant force in game 2?
Or actually, let me see. Whoever has the Guzzlord, is that Warriors or is that
No, Ninja
Squirtles?
Squirtles is Guzzlord.
Squirrels of Guzzlord.
Yeah. So in the second game, Charizard got 2 KOs, Guzzlord got 2 KOs.
Yeah, like you say, it's surprising that Guzzlord didn't do so well versus the Dragapult matchup. But
Dragapult.
then Warriors also have got Primarina. Did they bring Primarina? Does it might
Yeah,
not?
the Primarina got the final kill game 3, and it looks like Toxtricity actually did a lot of work as well.
That's interesting.
Uh,
They got GMAX Toxtricity Warriors, I think. So yeah. Also, yeah, like Primarina really does like put a stop to Guzzlord. That could be why it didn't go off as much as you'd expect.
mm-hmm.
That time
Yeah, and
for
I guess
Gary's Lab.
it might be harder to set that Trick Room given that Dragapult is just so strong and can hit that Dusclops for super effective. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so that sounded like a good game. I wish one of them was a creator so we could have seen it. But there we go. On to the next fixture, which was the Strom and Staraptors versus the Breaking Zolts, and the Staraptors picked up the win 2-0. So the Staraptors took over from Mega Umbreon. Is that
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, you're right.
they were down 0-1 after week 1, right? But it's still quite a strong team, I think, that the Staraptors have picked up on. And it looks like it shows in the match with the 2-0 win. Any
Honestly,
thoughts on that?
honestly, from talking with the Star Raptors for a bit, his game plan and his insight on the game is actually really, really surprising. As expected from Mega choosing someone really valuable in the game to take over his team is really, really good. And I actually can't wait to see how he progresses throughout the season. Actually,
Yeah, he does seem really knowledgeable in the group chat. He seems pretty knowledgeable and knows his stuff. So yeah, could turn the team around after taking a week 1 loss. Results.
I mean,
go on, carry on, Goom.
Yeah, I was gonna say he definitely. I'm checking out his team right now because I forgot who he had and who Breaking Zolts has. Just looking at Staraptors, I mean, he's got that Gmax Grimmsnarl and he's Zapdos. It's like those are 3 really good Pokemon in the meta right now, so that makes sense. And then Mudsdale, I feel like Mudsdale is a little bit kind of like your Regirock in a sense that, like, you know, he's a little bit underrated and like so hard to take down sometimes, especially, you know, if you can set up those screens with Grimmsnarl. That's really
option as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got some great synergy there.
So yeah, on to the next fixture, which was, I think, more of a shock than any other fixtures of the week, I believe. So the Seattle Siegers took a 2-0 loss to the London Sylvallies. The Sylvallies have rebranded from
right.
The Luxrays.
I got that one right. I got that match right.
Okay, well done, Ted. But yeah, what shocked everyone, I think, was in the battle report, seeing offensive Incineroar just going to town.
Yeah, I never expected Incineroar to take down a Gmax Colossal.
Yeah, I was looking at it like, how?
That didn't make a lot of sense to me. But I guess I mean, it looked like he had other answers for it too if he wanted. Like, he has Palisand, he has Slowking, so I'm interested. Or I find it interesting that he chose the Incineroar, especially considering Incineroar is
Slowking and Incineroar was the route he went. I think someone said it was Surf to activate the policy on Incineroar.
Yeah, but that would activate a Steam Engine too, and you would think that the
maybe trick up.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if the Colossal didn't see the Incineroar as big of a threat, and maybe just went for like an overgrowth into the Slowking or something like that.
And then got Trick Room up. Yeah. That's the only way I can see it honestly actually working. But yeah, go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, honestly, this match was really surprising to me. I might instantly when the replay went up and when the kills came up, my jaw just instantly dropped.
Yeah, because we had Siegers
that's all the words
as a top 5 team last week. Yeah, Siegers were a top 5 team last week, and then taking that loss, quite a big surprise. But then, you know, props to James Easy picking up a decent win and putting his name in the hat, I guess. A team that Gumi has been saying one to watch. So
yeah, I think another, like, when I looked at this matchup, I honestly could have seen either of them winning, so I wasn't like super surprised. I guess I would have expected maybe a 2-1, maybe not necessarily a 2-0, but I do think this kind of goes back to something I was thinking about in draft, where sometimes I think people have sort of some very good but obvious strategies. Like, you know, you have a Colossal Gmax, you know what it's going to do trying to set up, and so you can prep for that. But I think if you have less obvious strategies, sometimes it makes the prep harder, and so that can be a nice way to kind of throw your opponents off.
Yeah,
like that Dynamax Incineroar.
Colossal is nowhere near as powerful when you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. The next fixture then was quite a big match. I think the Welsh Wailords and Taco and the Massachusetts Manitans, and Wailords managed to take that 2-0. I would have thought it would have been a bit closer than that personally. But watching the match back, I watched it on Taco's channel. The game 2, there was a couple of crits, but I'm not even entirely sure they mattered.
I went back and forth about whether the speed ties mattered, though. People can go back and decide for themselves, but it was funny. The Heatran took hail damage first and Dynamax first, but then the Metagross actually got its max Quake off first, and if you look at the health bars and based on that max flare from the Heatran after it ate the max Quake with a Shuka Berry, it looked like the max flare was going to kill if it didn't have that special defense boost. So, it in my opinion, it kind of came down to a speed tie.
Yeah.
We don't know how the rest of the game would have played out, but that's obviously tough. On a 50-50 there.
Maybe on another day the result might have been different.
Yeah, but obviously Wailord's already had a game up. So then, if Taco did tie it up there, that third game, Wailords would have known that he was Shuka Berry and been able to play around that. So it would have been really interesting. I think.
Yeah. Matrix definitely been impressive so far. I didn't realize how potent that Vanillux Arctivish can be.
Yeah, I've faced that in another draft league. It's extremely scary. They cover each other really well.
I liked it game ice. 2 when he had Aurora Veil on both of them, so the fake out went into Lux, and he must have called that and put the Veil up with Arctivish, which I thought was smart.
That was such a cool tech. I love that.
Yeah, and that Veil was obviously important as well. Really helped him in both games. So, on to the next fixture, which was the Iron Bashing Mammothils versus the Tyranitar Sources, and T-Tar Sources picked the win 2-0. So, I think not massively surprising here, but I do also believe that the Mammothils have had pretty tough fixtures for their first 2 games. They had
I would agree with you.
What was Snom and the United States Wolfie, and then Saki, pretty tough going first 2. So I don't think because he's 0-2 that it really is a true reflection on his team and ability right now. But I'm not really surprised that Saki won, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Melmel's is still kind of figuring out their team and what they want to do with it, and that's fine. And hopefully they can use these battles to prepare and for the upcoming weeks and maybe turn it around.
Yeah, I agree. So next we had the Fusion Fishes versus the Northampton Celestelas, and that's obviously the Commissioner Womble's team, and the Fusion Fishes managed to win 2-1. Now again, this was a game that wasn't recorded, but just spoken about in the battle reports and post-match spoilers. Womble clearly said hacks win.
Yeah. I heard there were some crits or sleeps, some hypnosis sleeps maybe.
Yeah, he had 3 full turns of sleep, he said, and then also a crit through screens that stopped him from getting the trick room up, which would have led him to win. But obviously very unlucky, but it's the game we play. I mean, 2-1, I'm not sure if hacks came into play all 3 games, obviously, but there we go.
Right. It sounds like it was a match, and then it sounds like there was potentially some hacks, like you said, the 3-turn sleep and whatnot that came into play and maybe pushed it over the edge for Fusion Fishes and gave him that extra game victory there. But I think at the same time, I'm not. Obviously we didn't get to see the game and how it played out, but it is sometimes a good thing to recognize what your win condition is, and maybe you think, okay, I can't beat this Pokemon right now. I've got to put it to sleep. That's my only win condition. And,
so yeah, also you click hypnosis or sleep powder for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
And there it obviously worked out for him. So on the website here, the score hasn't been updated for the Slowbros versus Rebellion, but I do think we all know now that Lucien took the win 2-0.
Yeah.
I watched his match on his channel, and it's quite dominant, I think.
Yeah, he had a really solid game plan, and I think he pulled out some interesting tricks. Like I think he didn't bring the Dragonite or something like that, and it looked like it was something Slowbro was expecting. and that's also playing.
Why do you think it's bad? Just because I'm online? Why? Why?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Also, there was some interesting tech with the Iron Ball. He put it on himself to make sure he outsped in Trick Room, which I thought was great.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think his Clucky had the attack moves on it, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's really useful, but it is risky on prankster month, especially if you get taunted or something.
Hey Goomer, I don't know if you want to maybe just quickly unplug and plug your mic back in. It seems to be going a bit
Oh, sorry.
iffy. We'll move on to the next result, which was you versus the Atlanta Talonflames. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so looking at his team, he had a lot of count for header, but I figured it would be too risky to go trick room mode, especially like in Raja with all room service. So definitely not going trick room mode, too risky. Based on all those poison types and like the Caparaja, I was like, I feel like Celesteela matches up really well here. Yeah. I knew the Porygon Z would be tough too, and he has a lot of special attackers. So I just ran a Soul Vest Celesteela, and it's got amazing stats. It's super bulky, and the other thing is some of my Pokemon underspeed some of his, and I was worried about like some Choice Scarfs, like possibly a Choice Scarf for the Drago. So I figured if I just can protect and throw off some Airstreams to Celesteela, I can boost up and then get the speed advantage and just start throwing off big moves like maybe with Garchomp or other Pokemon. So that was the game plan, and it worked out.
I was really impressed with Celesteela watching it. I was looking at it like, oh god, like I don't know how I would beat that Celesteela with my current team. I don't know what I'd do because it's actually just so like you were Assault Vest, right? So like the bulk was incredible.
Yeah, I mean I was max HP and I was I think like 130 EVs and specialty, so I was very specially bulky, and that's why I was worried about maybe like a Hitmonchan Thunder Punch or something coming out. But he didn't end up bringing it, thankfully.
Even then, though, you could like just throw a Steel Spike and then your +1D, and then very difficult to take
or just an Airstream, probably Okos anyways. So because and that was another thing, Hitmonchan actually has some decent specialty, so I actually ran physical Celesteela because he didn't have any Intimidators either, so I wasn't really worried about the
attack drops,
getting my attack lower. Now, if he knew that, I was worried about potentially like Charm Cottony or something like that to reduce my damage output. That would have been really annoying. But
that'd been risky for him to run anyway, not knowing if you were special or physical.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's kind of my first couple times using Celesteela, but it's proved to be pretty good.
Yeah, good stuff. So the next match we had, this is actually a very surprising result as well. Actually, was the Texas Toad Frogs losing 2-1 to the St. Lucie Luxrays. That sounded like a good match. I watched it on both their channels, and some interesting stuff. Like I didn't really feel like, as far as plans go, it didn't really seem like there was much. Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I watched the game. I thought there was some very interesting text that came out, like the Focus Blast Thunderous Therian. Oh, yeah. I was like, holy crap. But
Luxray,
it looked like the games came down. Sorry?
Go on. You go ahead.
I was going to say, it looked like some of the games came down to a couple like 50-50 reads on who to go into or who's going to protect and or who's going to switch. Like it looked like it was both teams were exerting pressure on each other at all times.
What I found interesting, I don't know if it was like intentional or not, but the Luxrays led the same lead all 3 games in a row. And they went with
I didn't even notice that.
The Spectre and Entei. And then when it wasn't on, they'd switch in the Thunder Therian. But
yeah, I mean,
go on.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, if you've got a confident lead and you know what your game plan is, sometimes that's just better to keep going with that rather than trying to mix it up and then then having to react to what your opponent comes out with, and trying to make up a new game plan on the spot. If you're going in with a game plan, then you know sometimes just sticking to it works.
But like you said about that focus blast, that's kind of like what draft is about. Like, you don't expect someone to bring that, and when they do, that's kind of what unfoiled the Toad Frogs. And it worked for him.
Yeah, because normally Thunderous Syrian wouldn't be able to do much at all to a Crocodile.
No. Yeah. And it was maxed, and I believe there was a crit.
Yeah.
But
barely lived though.
He did live even through the crit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the game we play. The next game, he'll be gutted that he's not here to talk about it, was Gumi and his Raw Gold Pretzels taking a 2-0 win versus the Somerville Scraggies, our number 1 rank on the PR last week. I feel like Gumi's prep was insane, really. Well, yeah, it wasn't. I think his leads were kind of like obvious in a way, like the Ludicolo strat. Even Tyler said it in his own video. I know he's bringing Tornadus Ludicolo.
Yeah.
And he just did that for 2 games and it worked.
Yeah, I think like I said, like these this was a game where kind of like the Seadros and Somalis, where I didn't necessarily expect a 2-0. I definitely expected like a 2-1 in either direction, because both strong teams facing off. And I think the Scraggies did a good way of explaining it in their post game, where they said they just try to go for too many like big brain plays, whereas I think they prepped well for Gumi, and they had some good strats, and they just needed to execute them maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe overthinking a little too much when it came down to making the plays.
Right.
But yeah, that's an interesting
right.
result.
I think I think that Tornadus was key. Getting rid of that Tornadus and removing like Rain or Tailwind, and just having that speed control with like Stoutland Max Strikes, I think could have been really, really useful.
Yeah.
Because I know in watching the video, the Scraggies were thinking about leading Persian, and they could have like faked out and then just taken it out with something.
Yeah.
But I don't think that ever happened.
No. Yeah, he could have quite easily done that. Just fake out the Torn and then hit it with a Max Strike would have killed it, or if he'd have gone like Gigalith, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is the week 2 results that we've just gone over. We'll move on now to the PR to look at who places where this week, and I'll pull up the image now. Here it is then, the PR for the week 2, the power rankings. Ted has had to leave us for things he's got to do at home, so it's just me and Groomer now. But just a quick breakdown of the PR. I think teams numbered 19 to 24, they're the teams that are currently 0-2. And then teams numbered 18 up to 8 are 1-1. And then 7 through 1 are the 2-0 teams. So that's just a quick breakdown of how we've ordered everyone. And within that, there's some reasoning for ordering. It's usually like, compared to their last week's placement, they've had to go up or go down based on their wins and losses. So if we just go over it from bottom to top, I think the reason, obviously you're stepping in, but the reason me, Ted, and Gumi placed the Melmetals number 24 is because they've taken up double 4-0 week 1 and 2. So that's pretty much the only thing separating them from the rest of them right now.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but yeah, I think coming in, they definitely replaced the team, and so they had to make some adjustments, or they felt they needed to. And so I think maybe as the season progresses, they'll figure out how to use it a little better, and start climbing up and getting some wins.
Yeah, and like I said in the fixture, then I think his first 2 matches were against quite tough opponents, and it's not a real indicator of the skill taking those losses. But the fact that he hasn't picked up even a kill in any games yet is why he's where he is right now. So then number 23, we've got the Playing Pukus, who are in a similar situation, but the reason they edge out the Melmetals is because they picked up 1 kill in their 2 games. So
that was against you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. There's no shame in that.
I know.
So yeah, that's why they placed there. Number 2, the Breaking Zolts. there's not really a whole lot to say. They didn't necessarily perform any worse than like any of the next three above them. I don't think.
Mhm.
But I think both their losses were 2-0s, whereas like other guys have picked up games in their losses.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like like the Celesteelers picked up 1 win versus the Fishers this week.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, Talonflames did, and
Talonflame picked up
against
a win
Scoomy.
against
Yeah.
Scoomy, and then P-Dubs picked one against the Warriors last week, so that's why they're above in the 0-2 teams. But I mean, it's early season; they can still turn the season around.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like sometimes people go down 0-2 and they feel bad or something like that. And it's like there's 8 games. Like that's a lot, and you can easily turn it around and pick up some wins. We've already seen upsets happening too. So
Yeah,
I feel like facing somebody who's ranked higher or you feel stronger, like I wouldn't let that get you down.
yeah. I mean, like number 19 here, the Talonflames last season they were a playoff team, so obviously they've got the potential to make it to playoffs again. We know that because they've done it before, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just way the results have gone so far. So then number 18, we've got the St. Lucie Luxrays picking up their first win of the season. It's also a big moment, I think, for White Rabbit, since I don't know if you know this because you weren't here last season, but he didn't pick up any wins last season. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
so that's a nice moment for him. Hopefully, he can pick up some more this season. Then number 17, we've got Kudela and the Texas Toad Frogs. Uh, he took an L this week, obviously against the Luxrays.
That was his second 2-1 loss though,
Oh
and
right, wait, no, he's 0
I
2,
think
isn't
both of
he?
those games, like my game against him, and well, he's 0-2, or well,
Yeah, he is
as
0
of
2.
week
Yeah, as a week
2,
2, yeah.
but but both games went to 3 games, yeah, and if I mean I felt like my game was super close, maybe came down to like a one turn or two, like easily could have flipped the other way, and same thing with his week 2 game, so yeah.
Yeah, I think perhaps maybe I should have swapped them around because Luxrays have got a win, but like you said, both of his losses have been very tight, and again, I don't think it's a real indicator of his level at the moment, but it's just where we are at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
So number 16, we've got the Fusion Fishers, who were our number 1 team when we did it just based on the draft. When we looked at the teams and just based on their draft, we had them at number 1, but they're now 1-1 after 2 weeks at number 16, and
Mm-hmm.
be interesting to see how they continue throughout the season. Number 15, we've got the Strom and Star Raptors. Like we said in the fixture review, I think they're going to do well at turning this team back into like an upper half of the table side.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's definitely where he's going to end up putting himself.
Yeah, seems like a strong player, and yeah, we did get to see the week 2 match, right?
Did we?
I think he recorded it.
I think he was having troubles posting it, wasn't he?
Oh, that might be right. I think he may have posted it, but it was like a sideways phone video or something. But
Oh, I think I missed that. I think I watched that.
I think he might have, yeah.
I'll have to go back and try and watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So up to number 14, we've got Taco and Massachusetts Manitans. They took their first L versus the Waylords, so they've dropped a little bit from where they were last week. But again, I think he's definitely capable of bringing himself back up. There's no shame being mid-table after week 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with Ted. Ted picked up his first win versus the Pukus, so he rises from where he was last week. The Pacific Slowbros, they were the United States of Wolfies, which were in the top 5 last week. But after taking a loss to Lucien and the Rebellion, that's why they've dropped to number 12. Sort of the same story for the Siegers. They had a win round 1, but losing round 2 has put them just outside of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I've got them this week, week 3. So pretty nervous
Should be
for
a
that
good
one.
match.
Yep.
Yeah.
So into the top 10, we got number 10, the London Silvallies from James Easy. He's brought himself up after picking up that win versus the Siegers. So
yeah, I know a lot of people were betting against him. I think at least.
Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily a lot. It was slightly favored, I think, the other way. And so yeah, we'll see if he proves to be able to clutch these games out and climb up the rankings.
Number 9, the Ninja Squirtles. I think they were number 3 last week, so taking their losses, dropped them to number 9. Again, they're a team that can definitely. They've got so many threats on their side that I can't see them not being up amongst this sort of number most of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same for number 8, Tyler and the Somerville Scraggy. They were number 1 last week, dropping to number 8 after their first loss. And then this week, that's a big match versus Lucien. Number 2.
Yeah, I think that'll be a true test of the Scraggy skill. You know, you've got I'm not sure if it was a double 4-0. No, it wasn't a double 4-0, but it was a 2-0. The first week, and then this past week 0-2 against Gumi. And so even though they were it was a really good match for sure. But yeah, we'll see if Scraggy is able to bring it back, and like you said, a huge match against Rebellion here.
Yeah. So now we're into the teams that are 2-0, starting with Matrix, who I think was just outside the top 10 last week, but picking up the second win has put them at number 7. The only reason he's actually like number 7 rather than like 6 or 5 is just because me and Saki were higher than last week, so it only makes sense just for us all to move up. But that's all that separates us at the moment.
Yeah, it's really hard to rank people like, so especially with only 2 weeks. Like, everyone's so close right now in their wins. Like, it's only 1-1, 2-0 or 0-2.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of these can definitely be blended together here, but yeah, definitely a really strong team.
Yeah, so got myself at number 6, the Old English Ice Cube. We're both my games were 2-0 wins, so pretty happy with that, and hopefully I can keep it up. Same for Saki, pretty much the exact same like record as me, both 2-0 wins. Up to number 4, we've got Gumi and the Raw Gold Pretzels. He won 2-1 first week and 2-0 second week, but I think it was a bigger deal taking down the number 1 spot. That's what's put him at number 4.
Yeah, that definitely plays into it. He's a strong player, and see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, and then number 3, we've got the Warriors. They played versus the Ninja Squirrels this week, and they were both within the top like 6, I think, last week. So that plays into why he's at number 3. Number 2, we've got Lucien and Rebellion, having taken down the Slowbros, who were also like a top 5 team last week. That was a big game, really. I think whoever won that was going to find themselves up here at number 2 or maybe number 1, depending on the result between you and your result, basically.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, I mean that was yeah.
And then at number 1, we've got you. You shocked to see yourself there?
I mean, I know I was ranked 4. Maybe last week I expected maybe move up, maybe a spot or 2. But like, honestly, like before this came out, I was thinking Warriors might be up there at number 1. I feel like they're really strong. Or even Lucien Rebellion. I know some people ragged on his Dragons during the draft, but after seeing his play style and how unique and creative he's been with his sets, he's definitely another contender for that. And yeah, I mean, it's really close right now. Like I said, like you and Saki have 2-0s and both times, and I've got a 2-1 on my first week against Kudela. So yeah, I've definitely dropped a game, and
yeah,
but I still feel like I have a strong team, and hopefully I can keep up the record.
Yeah, it'll be a big game this week, you and Saki. That is a big game.
Yeah, that's a huge game. That's gonna be another big swing too, especially with him being number 5. Yeah, that's you don't get to see that often.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I think the maximum amount of 3-0 teams that we can have next week is only 4 or maybe 5, because obviously you and Saki can't both go 3-0.
Yeah.
Lucien and oh wait, no, he's playing Scraggies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who Gumi says he's playing.
Who does Gumi play?
I'm playing the Cedras this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember, but we'll look at the fixtures in just a second. I think there's a chance that there's only a certain amount of 3-0s we can possibly get. But yeah, there's the PR.
Wow.
Hopefully everyone's not either too unhappy or quite happy with their placement. But there we have it. And now we'll move on to predictions for next week.
Yeah.
Oh, there
Let's
it
do
is.
it.
It's the Warriors versus Wailords. Obviously, not both of those can't go 3-0. So
yeah.
Was that it outside the 3-0 teams?
Well, I guess
yes.
there's 7 of us now, and I guess two sets of us are facing off against each other.
So we can have a maximum
there's
of 5
maximum of 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Or less if
upsets.
If some of the other ones lose. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, there's definitely going to be 2. Because of those 2
Yeah,
fixtures.
exactly. At least 2, no more than 5.
Right. So, Warriors and Wailords. We've obviously got our predictions channel on the Discord, but just speaking our thoughts out loud right here. Who have you got?
Honestly, I need to go check the predictions. Actually, no. I think I voted for Warriors, and like I said, I think I was going to put them at number 1, like on the PR, ahead of me. Like they just seem really strong. At the same time, like Welsh Whale, like I did want to vote the Wailords too, because they've got Media Gross, who's super hard to deal with. They've got that ice mode. Yeah, it's extremely going to be an extremely tough matchup. I definitely expect this to go 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, on the predictions list, I'm looking at it right now. Wailords are actually up 7-5. Obviously not everyone's voted, but 12 people have voted, and the Wailords are up 7-5 according to the people. I think it's a matchup thing, honestly. I've actually clicked Warriors to win on the predictions list, but now thinking about it, the ice, the Arctivish really like hits Arcanine hard, hits Dragapult hard. It'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it can be intimidated by the Arcanine though, and that reduces that damage output a lot.
Yeah, but it's still Fisher's Rend.
It is still a Fisher's Rend, yeah. That's true, but it doesn't have strong jaws. The thing,
yeah.
So you'd have to run Choice Band or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I can't. Oh, Warriors need to try and sort out their recording system, because that would be a good game to watch.
Yes, I think they are figuring it out. That would be huge. Yeah, I think the Warriors have got some interesting tools. It's like on paper, I might almost say the Wailords, but just seeing how well the Warriors have played, I think I might have to give this. I'm sticking with my prediction of Warriors.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. When I do this with Ted and Gumi, they like to keep tabs on all the predictions and whatnot, but I'm sure Gumi will still do this and let us know, because he's currently ahead in the predictions after 2 weeks. So I'm sure next week when he's back on or in the chat, he'll let us know. So the next fixture is the Ninja Squirtles versus the Massachusetts Manitans, and they're both 1-1 after week 2. But they're both very capable teams. Just trying to think about the matchup in my head right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the teams right now. Ninja Squirtles has got obviously Dusclops, which is great if you want to go Trick Room mode. Got some really strong, Kartana, Blastoise, Charizard, so Firewire, Grass Core. But let's see.
Manitans have got Heatran, Ice-Q, NDD. I didn't see Ice-Q's a way of taking down Guzzlord, but I think Guzzlord might be pretty strong this week.
Yeah. I mean, I voted for Manitans.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, I think they have a little bit more tools they can possibly utilize here, and um, yeah, it's a tough matchup for sure. Another close game I'm expecting.
Quite hard to call, obviously. Yeah, similar records again, like the first match.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going Manitans, the two of us. So next match is the Playing Pukus versus Breaking Zolts. Obviously, both 0-2 teams. I've opted to go for the Zolts. I think the Playing Pukus team, I think it needs some changing. They need to inject a bit of speed into that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I remember when I was doing my calcs. Sorry to interrupt.
Hmm?
When I was doing my
Oh,
calcs
go for it.
for my week 1 fixture, like the only thing I needed to outspeed was like Magnezone at base like 70 or 75, I think. So obviously not difficult for a lot of drafts to try and do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I see a little bit more obvious synergy out of Breaking Salts. Yeah, I think they are maybe both 0-2, but I'm still kind of waiting to see what the Pukus can pull out in these games, because yeah, I don't know. I just don't see a ton of synergy on that team.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good opportunity for both these teams to try and pick up their first win of the season.
Yeah, that's true. Should be a good match.
So the next one is myself, the Old English Ice Cube versus the Seattle Seadras. Now, as far as predictions go, I'm gonna bat myself. I'm always gonna bat myself because I'm not just gonna stand here and say, oh no, I think I'm gonna lose this week. But
Of course.
what's your thoughts?
Well, you are 2-0, and I've watched your videos. I've seen that you're a good player. So I have backed you. I mean, obviously, Seadras has a scary team, and a lot of good synergy here. Let me see. I need to see what's exactly on your team real quick.
I
know you've got the rock, obviously, and
but I'm
yeah,
pretty
you've got the rock.
comfortable with my plan this week. I'm not going to go out and say, yeah, I got this, but I'm pretty comfortable. I think I've planned for most, if not all, scenarios.
Yeah, you've got a lot of useful tools, and that's another thing. It's there is like some stuff you can kind of expect from your team to come out, but like I think against the there's a couple of very obvious strategies that you can kind of prep for against the
Seadras, yeah.
Against the Seadras, yeah. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out for sure.
I think that's the thing about my team. But when you look at my team, there's not like, oh, he's bringing.
There's nothing that pops out exactly.
Yeah, and I think I quite like that, to be honest.
Yeah,
makes it harder to build against. Okay, so the next fixture is Ted and the Rochesters Scalding Volcsnions versus the Strommen Star Raptors. I think this is going to be an interesting game as well. We spoke about MTB, and since he's taken over the team, sounding quite knowledgeable in the chat, I think this would be a real test for the two of them.
Yeah, I oh, there's Ted back.
Ted's back?
Yeah, I just heard him.
Let me unmute him. Hey Ted, you back?
Yeah.
All right, we're on to the predictions. We did the PR.
Yeah.
So Ted's back. We're on your fixture right now. You versus the Strommen Star Raptors. How you feeling?
Not as confident last week. His team is looking really scary. Obviously, I faced Grimmsall not last week. This week I'm gonna be facing the G-Max form, the form that I really wanted in my own drafts. So it's gonna be really interesting how the Star Raptors are gonna be able to utilize Grimmsall the most.
I didn't
but
really
other than
see.
that,
Sorry, I didn't really see a world where Grimmsall does Dynamax. I think that's just a free pick from the max slot, kind of similar to mine.
Yeah, the other mon that I'm really scared of is that Tapu Fini could do a lot of damage to my team.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
I think I backed Ted this week though.
I can't remember who I backed, which Ted might not like the sound of. Where's the predictions channel gone?
Looks like you backed the Staraptors.
Yeah, I did. I did, yeah. And he backed me up for winning too, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think I went with the Starts too. I think they've got too many bigger threats. That's not to say you can't go around them, but I think like I said, that Tapu Fini is going to be difficult for you to deal with. I was saying before you came back, Ted, about how Gumi will keep track of the predictions. But they're on the channel, which really helps, so I'm sure he'll look at that. The next fixture is Middle Village P-Dubs versus the London Sylvallies. I've gone with the Sylvallies personally, after seeing what they did last week. I think
that was exactly my thought process too.
Same with me.
They know what kind of saucy sets to bring. That's what I like. I like seeing that. So I've opted to back them, and you both said the same.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a match recorded from the Middle Village Pit-Ofs. I'm not sure if the people who have played them recorded the matches. Oh, it's you this week, so I guess I'll get to see that.
No, it was. That's who I just beat. He had
that's who you just beat.
The Coco, the Landorus, Stakataka.
Oh, right, who has the bigger rock. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
The next one is the Pacific Slowbros and Gumi's Rolled Gold Pretzels. I think I've backed Gumi here. A 2-0 side.
And did the same as well.
Yep, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to see the Slowbros come out and live up to the hype that they brought and take on the Gumi. I mean, they definitely could. Like, don't get me wrong, it's should be a good match, but I think it is a little bit more favorable towards Gumi.
I mean, I voted against him last week versus the Scraggies. That didn't go my way, so I'm not going to do it again this week. Now this one,
same with me.
Lucien and Rebellion versus the Scraggies. What are our thoughts on this one?
This match is really, really interesting. I would say one of the most interesting matches this week. But I'm gonna back Lucien this week. Again,
I think I've done the same. I don't feel comfortable not voting for Lucien. He doesn't like it in the chat when people vote against him.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't had a good reason to doubt Lucien so far. I mean, just with that 2-0 record. But at the same time, like, I think Scraggy's is coming off that loss last week and really going to analyze it and work to improve it and come with a good game plan for Lucien. And they definitely have a scary team that I think can deal with it. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's going to be a good game. I think they're actually playing quite soon as well. I saw them organising for this evening. Obviously, their time zone, not my own. But I think it'll be up by the time I wake up in the morning. So yeah, that'd be an interesting one for sure. So all three of us have opted for Rebellion this week. So what a turnaround from the number one team last week. Ted, I was also saying a minute ago when we were doing the power rankings how by the end of this week there can only be a maximum of 5 3-0 teams left.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because two of us in the 2-0 sides play against each other, the Warriors and the Wailords, and then what was the other one?
This game right here, the Bashers and the Tyranitar sauces.
Yourself versus Saki, the Caesar sauces versus the Bashers. I think this is the most exciting game of the week for me. I think they're both two of the strongest sides that have been performing at the minute. Obviously, only 2 weeks in, but and they're both content creators, so I get to watch the same match from 2 different angles because I love me some content.
Yeah, that's always interesting, getting the commentary on both sides. I mean, I'm really scared. I know Saki's a good player, and uh, I think we know how each other think too, which is makes it really tough to like draft prep for because you don't know how saucy you can get with it. Um, but yeah, I mean, I voted for myself just because I'm always going to,
Yeah.
even if I think it's kind of a worse matchup. Which in this week I kind of do. Like um, his team just looks really scary. I mean, I guess it does seem a little even, but like I think he's just got such scary modes. I'm not sure exactly what he brings. I've got a decent idea, but he could just totally mix it up. And like we saw week 1 where he brought that like choice scarf Dracozolt, yeah, to outspeed the Inteleon. Like you just never know. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen both you play. You're both really good players. I think Saki seems like mysteriously good. Like obviously I've not really spoke much to him, but watching him play, he just always knows what he's doing. But yeah, that's an interesting match. Have you organised time to play yet?
I think we're supposed to play tomorrow at like 5 Eastern.
Okay, so not too long to wait then to see that one. Because that's what I'm after, some sweet content. Now this match has already been played, but not updated on the site. The Fusion Fishers versus the Texas Toad Frogs. But I did put up the fixtures in the predictions channel before it was played, and most people had voted before the game was played. I know I voted for the Toad Frogs. You did as well, Ted?
Yeah, I voted. Yeah, I voted for the Toad Frogs as well.
Did you vote, Groomer?
Yes, I voted for the Toad Frogs.
And I think we can reveal now, just briefly, that
You did win.
The Toad Frogs did win. So they pick up their first win of the season, but we'll talk more about it next week in the match reviews. Because this is actually coming out a little bit later than most PRs, which I didn't mention at the beginning. So the next fixture is the Melmetals versus the Talonflames. Obviously, the Melmetals are 0-2, while the Talonflames are 1-1. I opted to back the Talonflames this week.
No, the Talonflames are 0-2.
Oh, of course they are. Oh yeah, you're right. So two 0-2 teams. But I still,
so somebody will be getting their first win.
Yeah, someone will be getting their first win. There's actually 2 fixtures where someone will be getting their first win.
Yeah,
I think the Atlantic Talonflames will get their first win. I know, watching Joe's videos, he's had unfortunate matches between games 1 and 2 for each of his last 2 matches. So I think he'll pick up his first win of the season this week.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think, like I said, with who did I say that with? I suppose actually it was the Melmetals. I think both of them have had very tough first 2 weeks. Like the Talonflames' 2 losses so far are against the current ranked number 1 and number 4 teams. So it's been tough.
I backed the Melmetals this week.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, so I think based on the chats and in general and stuff especially after their week 2 game, I think they're starting to figure out how their team is maybe supposed to play and stuff, and so I think they could definitely pull out some tricks here, and yeah, I think it's very possible they get their win. So
interesting stuff. It'd be good to see it over on Joe's channel when it gets played.
Yeah.
Now the last fixture of the week is Womble and the Northampton Celesteelers versus White Rabbit and the St. Lucie Luxrays. So this is an opportunity for Womble to pick up his first win of the season, or for the Luxrays to go on a bit of a streak and pick up their second win. I've actually gone and backed the Luxrays because I was impressed with how they played last week. Anyone else?
Yeah, I backed the Celesteelers. I think obviously Womble had a tough game, one against Saki, or week 1, and then week 2 it sounded like there was some hacks in play, and yeah, still a relatively tough opponent, and so I think Womble will be able to clutch it out this week and get his first win.
How about you, Ted?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like Womble has, his first 2 opponents were a little bit tough, and I know I voted for White Rabbit last week to get the win. So I'm going to choose Womble this week, and he'll get his first win of the season.
I wonder how long will go before every team picks up a win.
Well, it sounded like last season that did never happen for some people. So
Luxrays didn't
Yeah,
go in
that happened to White Rabbit last season. He never got a win.
But yeah, we'll see. So, I mean, just a quick look again at the PR here. This is where we're ending it off for week 2. So we're already into Thursday of week 3 because this is coming out late. So we might get the next PR up within a few days if all the matches get played by this weekend. Gumi will be back,
yeah,
and I imagine he'll have a lot to say.
Yep.
yeah, it's too bad he couldn't make this one.
And I want to say just thanks to you, Goomer, for stepping in. And then obviously, even again, when Ted had to drop out, it was just me and you. I would have been on my own if me and Ted ended up doing it on our own. So thanks for doing that this week.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
No
thanks
problem.
Junior,
It was exciting.
for joining and helping out Gert and I in this power ranking show.
So we'll keep you as a back burner if we ever need you again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know who the better Goom is.
Hey, Gumi's not going to take that lightly.
He's going to be very fiery on next week's PR show.
I've gone and usurped his role as he's sleeping or something.
And he's busy with school
That's
or
fair
whatever
enough.
he's doing.
But yeah, we'll leave it off there then. Every content creator in the league will be linked down below, as well as a playlist of all the week 2 games that were posted, just for convenience. And good luck in week 3, guys, and speak to you guys next time.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
See ya.